Morning, students. Let's begin our next topic of our biology section, chapter number 6, that is life processes. In the previous lecture, we have read about the nutrition in amoeba. So today we'll be learning about human digestive system. So since the human beings undergo the holozoic mode of nutrition, the holozoic mode of nutrition means that the human being engulf the food into their mouth or they take the solid food. So there were 5 steps which were involved in the holozoic mode of nutrition. They were ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. So first, ingestion was the process when the food is put into the mouth, and then the all process of ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion takes place in a system called as the alimentary canal. So all these various organs of the human digestive system are in a sequence, and the sequence is called as the alimentary canal. Along with the alimentary canal, it also comprises of some digestive glands. So these are the these are the organs which forms the alimentary canal. That means they are mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and then there are few more, that is called as rectum and anus. And in the case of the digestive glands, which are also responsible for the digestion of food, but they don't take directly in the part with the organs of the alimentary canal, since here the liver and pancreas are also organs, but they do not take directly part in digestion, but they secrete many important digestive juices which are very helpful in the digestion. So let's take a view in the diagram of human digestive system. First we'll move with the this is the diagram. Okay, all right. So the alimentary canal comprises of all these organs that are mouth and esophagus, stomach, small intestine and large intestine. So first moving with the mouth, here mouth is an organ, or we can call it as a buccal cavity. So buccal cavity comprises of many different small parts, which is called as tongue, then teeth, and here is a gland called as salivary glands. So tongues help in the tasting of food and it helps in pushing the food into the mouth, and teeth help in the chewing of food. Because when they chew the food, the salivary glands secretes the saliva or salivary amylase, which helps to digest the starch present in the food into sugar. So it is a first type of the digestion in which the starch which is present into the food is digested into sugar with the help of salivary amylase, which is present in the salivary gland. After this, the food moves from this pipe down to the stomach. This pipe or food pipe is called as the esophagus. Okay, OESOPHAGUS, esophagus. So this food is pushed through the esophagus to the stomach. In the stomach, the churning of food is done. The churning, and the food is stored for few hours, and the churning is done. Along with that, the stomach also secretes some gastric juices. So gastric juices also helps in the digestion of food. The gastric juices are hydrochloric acid, pepsin and mucus. So since the hydrochloric acid is acidic, so the food is digested. Also the hydrochloric acid kills the bacteria, but then mucus protects the inner lining of the stomach, and pepsin also breaks down the food into the protein. After the stomach, here is liver. So the liver also is a very largest gland of our body, and liver secretes bile. Now what is bile? Bile is a yellow colored liquid which is produced by the liver, but it is stored in the gallbladder. Here is a small portion you can see. So the liver produces the bile, okay, and the bile is stored in the this gallbladder, and then after this it is moved from this bile duct to the small intestine. Okay, so below the stomach, here lies a leaf-like organ. It is also a large organ, but it is smaller than the liver. It is also a very large organ. So liver and pancreas do not, the food does not comes here. The food only goes from esophagus to the stomach, and then from the stomach it goes to the small intestine. It does not reaches to the liver, neither to the pancreas, but liver and pancreas are glands which secretes juices. So now pancreas is a leaf-like structure, a leaf-like organ, and it also secretes some juices, or we can also not juices but enzymes called as pancreatic amylase, trypsin and lipase. All these enzymes, three enzymes, helps in the breakdown of food. After this, the after the stomach, this food moves to the small intestine. So all the functions by the liver and pancreas are only done when the food reaches from the stomach to the intestine, because in the intestine only the absorption and digestion of food takes place. So the enzymes produced by the pancreas reaches to the small intestine. Also, the liver produces bile, which is stored in the gallbladder, moves from the bile duct to the small intestine. So basically all these things mixes in the small intestine. Here the main digestion takes place in the small intestine. The food is converted into the smaller pieces, like smaller portions, like it is converted into carbohydrates, into fat, into protein, and all these things. And then the food is absorbed also in the intestine. After the absorption is done, the waste food, which is no more in use, it moves to the from here it moves to the large intestine. In the large intestine, absorption there is no digestion which is taking place. So digestion basically happens in the small intestine. Small intestine is called small because it has a very hollow, narrow tubes. Although the small intestine is very long as compared to the large intestine, but the tubes, or this all the duct or the tract of the this intestine is very small. Okay, and it is long, so that is why it is only the area of the duct is very small, so it is called as small intestine. And the area of this cavity is very wide, so it is called as large intestine. So it moves from the small intestine to the large intestine. Here the absorption of water is done, and then the undigested food which is not required from the body, it comes to here, it's stored for a while in the rectum, and then it comes out from the anus. So this is all a small overview of the this process of the digestion through the alimentary canal. Now we'll be learning and reading it in detail. So coming again to the human digestive system, here I will be showing you with the diagram also. So first start with the ingestion. Since ingestion is the ingesting of the food or putting of the food in the mouth, so it is done in the mouth, in the buccal cavity. And in the buccal cavity there are teeth which bite and grind and chew the food. So the biting, grinding and chewing of the food is done by the teeth. Here is the dental formula. So dental formula is it's like 2:1 is to 2:3. So this is a simple formula of 1/4 section of our mouth, because in this we are having two, the front teeth, they are incisors. So incisors are the teeth which are used to cut or to bite, and then comes the one teeth, only half, okay, it is only 1/4. So if we'll talk about the upper jaw, it will be two canines, and if we'll talk about both the jaw, it will be four canines. So same in this case also, incisors in the upper jaw and the half jaw, it will be two incisors. But if we'll count in the upper jaw, total it will be four incisors. These are the front teeth which are used to cut. You would have also learned in your previous classes. I hope you remember that, but if you don't, please listen it properly. So after this incisors, they are four in the upper jaw, and overall they are 8 in number, and canines are only one, so they are one or two in the upper jaw and four overall. Four canines, they are used to tear the food. So the teeth are the sides of the teeth incisor, they are pointed, so they are used in tearing the food. After that comes premolar. Premolar are used to break the food. So 2 here and 2 here, so 4 in the upper jaw and 4 in the lower jaw. So 4 premolar or 2 premolar in the 1/4 section of our jaw, and then at last 3 molars. So molars are the big tooth which teeth which are used to grind the food, and the chewing is done. After the chewing is done, the salivary amylase is secreted by the salivary glands, which is used to break the food into the or the starch present in the food into the simple sugar. So the molars are overall 3 here and 3 here, 6 and 6, so it will be 12 overall. So the formula of our tooth is 2:1:2:3. So this is in the buccal cavity. After this, the chewing of food is done, the salivary glands which are present in the mouth itself, they secrete the enzymes which are called as salivary amylase. So you can also write down the note. You can take the screenshot of the this video. So salivary amylase are the enzymes which digest the starch which is present in our food into simple sugars. After this is done, the food is moved from the esophagus. This is the food. How does the food moves in the esophagus? So there is a contraction and expansion movement in the walls of this esophagus, or we can call it as a food pipe. This contraction and expansion have a term which is called as peristalsis, or we can call it as a peristaltic movement. This movement of the contraction and expansion of the food is called as peristaltic movement, which is done in the food pipe or in the esophagus. Then from the esophagus, the food moves to the stomach, and in the stomach it finally is digested with the help of the other things which are present in the stomach. So after the food is reached in the stomach, it stays in the stomach for a while, where the digestion is done and the churning of food is done. After the churning of food is done, the food will move to the small intestine. So this peristaltic movement is also used in the other organs as well, to push the food to the other organs, and to the finally it also helps to move food to egestion, or to exit from the body through the alimentary canal. So it is very important. Peristaltic movement or peristalsis, it is the contraction and expansion movement of the wall of the food pipe which allows the food to move. Okay, so now after the food moves into the stomach, in the stomach is a J-shaped organ. Okay, so stomach is a J-shaped organ. Stomach is a J-shaped organ which is present in the left side of the abdomen. It is present in the left side of the abdomen, and it also secretes some very important juices. They are secreted from the wall of the stomach. So these juices are secreted from the wall of the stomach. These are the walls of the stomach. So these juices are secreted from the walls of the stomach, and the churning and the breaking of the food is done in the stomach. How it is done? Because these gastric juices secreted HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, which is very acidic in nature. So this HCl makes the food very acidic. With the help of HCl, the pepsin enzyme which is present in the which is secreted from the wall of the stomach, it breaks the food, or it breaks the proteins which is present into food into amino acid or into peptides. So pepsin will not be able to perform its function if there will be not an acidic medium. So pepsin wants the food in an acidic medium. Also the hydrochloric acid is very helpful. That means if along with the food any bacteria or any microorganisms which is harmful for our body is moved in the body, HCl, hydrochloric acid, kills that bacteria in the stomach itself. Along with that, it produces an acidic medium in the stomach which helps the pepsin. Pepsin is an enzyme which helps pepsin to convert the protein into amino acid or peptides. Along with that, it's a mucus. Mucus is very beneficial because HCl is very acidic nature. It can also harm the stomach itself. So it forms a lining in the stomach, inner lining in the stomach, which protects the walls of the stomach with this acid. Okay, so it protects the stomach. Mucus protects the stomach. HCl provides the acidic medium to the stomach, which help pepsin to digest the protein into amino acids. So again, we'll be learning about the functions of these substances. They are very important. Please, you can note them down. HCl, pepsin. These are the three main gastric juices which are produced by the wall of the stomach. They are HCl or hydrochloric acid, pepsin, and mucus. So HCl, it makes the medium it makes the medium of gastric juices very acidic, which help pepsin to digest protein, and it kills the bacteria which may enter the stomach along with the food. So pepsin digests the protein which is present in the food into amino acids or into peptides, and mucus helps to protect the stomach wall from the HCl. So all these things are done in the stomach. After the food is digested partially in the stomach, so here only the partial absorption or digestion takes place. No absorption takes place, only the digestion takes place in the stomach. After that, the food from the stomach moves to the small, from here it moves to the along here to the small intestine. So in the small intestine, what happens is, okay, so in the small intestine, the final digestion, not final, the main important digestion takes place in the small intestine. So small intestine is the largest part of the alimentary canal. So it is the largest portion of the alimentary canal, and it is the site of the complete digestion of the food. That means it digests the food into carbohydrates, protein, and fat, and these are the basic unit of the nutrients. So we need carbohydrates, we need proteins, we need fat. So these are the main important things in our food. So all this digestion is done in the small intestine. So small intestine also receives some important secretion. So secretion is received from these two important organs, which is called as liver and pancreas. Since the liver and pancreas are the glands which secretes the juices which are very important in digestion. So liver is the largest gland of our body which secretes the bile, bile. Bile is a yellow color fluid, a greenish yellow color fluid, which is made in the liver, but it is stored in the gallbladder. So gallbladder here is a small bladder kind of a thing, a round balloon kind of a shape kind of a thing, which stores the bile for a while, and then the bile is moved from this duct to the small intestine. So this bile, what does it do? Bile makes the acidic medium into the alkaline medium, because the other enzymes does not digest the food in the acidic medium, because the stomach uses the pepsin uses the acidic medium to digest the protein, but these other enzymes does not require acidic medium. So bile converts the acidic medium into alkaline medium. Functions of bile. So there are basically two functions of bile. That is, it makes the acidic food coming from the stomach into alkaline. So the pancreatic enzymes, because the enzymes which are secreted from the pancreas will be only digesting the food further when the food are in the alkaline medium. So in the stomach, the pepsin wanted the food into the acidic medium, but the other pancreatic enzymes, that is trypsin and lipase and pancreatic amylase, they need the food to be in the alkaline medium. So that is done with the help of bile, which is secreted by the liver. So this is the first function of bile. Then the second function of bile is that bile also produces some bile salts which break. So bile salts break the fat present in the food. So if there is any fat which is present in the food, it breaks the fat in the food into the small globules, small tiny not pieces but globules. So that process of the breakdown of the fat into small globules is called as emulsification of fat. So bile salts, what does they do? They emulsify the fat, or they undergo the emulsification of fat. So liver secretes bile, and bile is a greenish yellow liquid which is made in the liver but stored in the gallbladder, and the function of biles are it makes the acidic food into alkaline medium. So the food which comes from the stomach is an acidic food, but bile makes the food alkaline so that pancreatic enzymes can act on it. The other function of bile is that bile salts undergoes emulsification of fat, that is, they break down the fat into small globules and making it for the enzymes to digest them. So these are the two main functions of bile. Please, you can take the screenshot of these pages and you can write your own notes with the help of these points. So next, after the liver has secreted its bile, so comes the role of the pancreas. So now pancreas are a leaf-like structure, a leaf-like organ which also produces very important enzymes which are called as, they produces three enzymes. So pancreas produces three enzymes. It is a leaf-like structure and it is also a very large gland, but it is not larger than liver. Liver is the largest gland of human body. After that comes pancreas. So pancreas lies just beneath the stomach and they secrete the pancreatic juice, which also are very important in the digestion. So they actually pancreas secretes the digestive enzymes, sorry, not juices. Okay, now they are pancreatic amylase, trypsin and lipase. So these pancreatic amylase breaks down the starch into maltose. In the salivary glands, there was salivary amylase which used to break down the starch into sugar, and here pancreatic amylase break down the starch which is present in the food into maltose. It's also simpler form. Then the next enzyme is called as trypsin. So trypsin is just like the pepsin. If you remember, pepsin used to digest protein into amino acids and peptides. So here also the trypsin will digest the protein into amino acids. So the pepsin acts in the stomach and trypsin works in the small intestine. Pepsin uses acidic medium, but trypsin uses alkaline medium. So please remember that. After that comes lipase. So lipase breaks down the emulsified fat into fatty acid. There were also bile salt which used to break down the fat into carbohydrates into fat globules. Now this lipase also undergoes emulsification of fat into fatty acids and glycerol. Okay, so after all these things is done, the food is absorbed in the intestine. Once again I will repeat, in the small intestine there are liver, a gland and pancreatic glands. Liver secretes bile which is stored in the gallbladder, and from the gallbladder it moves from the bile duct to the small intestine. And the pancreas also secretes three digestive enzymes. So the bile does two functions, that is, bile, once it is also helpful in the digestion or in the breakdown of the food, and bile salt also helps in the emulsification of fat. Then pancreas secretes three enzymes called as pancreatic amylase which break down the starch into maltose. The next is trypsin which digests the protein into amino acids, and third is lipase which breaks down the fat into fatty acids and glycerol. Okay, so after this is done, the next step is okay, so now after this is done, the walls of the intestine also has they also secrete some very important intestinal juices which also undergoes the complete digestion of the complex compound, that is carbohydrates converted into glucose, protein is converted into amino acids, and fat into the fatty acid and glycerol. So because the bile which is secreted by the liver, it makes the acidic food into the alkaline food, and so that the pancreatic enzymes can act on it. So liver only does the role in converting the acidic food into alkaline food, so that the pancreatic juices, these three enzymes, can act on them and they can convert our carbohydrate into glucose, protein into amino acids, and fats into fatty acids. Along with that, there were also bile salt. Bile salts are the salts which break the fat which is present into food into the fat globules, which is also called as emulsification of fat. So enzymes, what are enzymes? Enzymes are the protein molecules in the cell which act as a biological catalyst. So catalysts are those compounds or those chemicals which speed up the reaction, but they do not take part in the reaction. So enzymes are the biological catalyst. They are the biological catalyst which speed up the chemical reaction in the body, but they somehow do not take part in the chemical reaction. So this is all the digestion of the food. After that, the absorption is done. The absorption takes place again in the small intestine. So intestine is having a small intestine is very thin. Actually, the size of the intestine is very thin, and intestine has some a small finger-like projection, very tiny, and millions of finger-like projection like this in the hollow tube of the intestine. These projections are called as villi. So these villi are, or villis you can call them, these are filled with the blood capillaries. So they increases the surface area of the intestine, and the food is passed through this. So they are very helpful in the absorption of the nutrient which are present in the food. So the small intestine, this is a main region where the absorption takes place of the digested food, because the food is digested in the small intestine and it is absorbed also in the small intestine. So the absorption of the food, digested food, takes place by the help of the millions of tiny finger-like projections called as villi. So these villis or villi, they increases the surface area of for the absorption, and the digested food is absorbed through the wall of the small intestine. So this is the wall of the small intestine. So these walls which are made up with the villi, so they absorbs the food, and the food then reaches to the from the small intestine to the large intestine here, because all the digestion, all the absorption is being done here. So when all the nutrients like carbohydrates, fats, protein, the carbohydrates are converted into the simpler compound as glucose, and then the fat is converted into fatty acids, and then the proteins are broken down into amino acids. So the all the broken down food then moves in the blood vessels, and then blood will take the food which is mixed in the blood to the cells. So the rest of the food moves to the large intestine. From the large intestine, there is the absorption of water, because nothing is left in the food, only water. So the final step will be the large intestine, which is very wide cavity. So the food which is undigested or which does not have any nutrient left in that have some water, so the water is absorbed. So villi are also present in the large intestine as well. So when there is some absorption of the food is left, so that the final absorption is done in this large intestine, and the water is also absorbed in this villi. Then the food finally comes to the rectum. Here the food is stored, undigested food or the feces is stored for a while in this rectum area, and then it moves out from the anus. So the assimilation of the food, now the food is absorbed, and the assimilation, that is assimilation means that the food which is absorbed, now it will act, and it will the body will take the food, take all the nutrient, and then the blood will go to the cells, and in the cells there will be cellular respiration. With the help of the cellular respiration, the food is converted into the energy which is required for growth and for the repairing of the tissues, repairing of the body. So the blood carries the digested and dissolved food to all the part of the body, and is assimilated as a part of cell. So it is formed in the cell. So it is absorbed, and it is transformed into the different things, that is energy. So the energy which we required for growth and for repair of the body, which is made by the help of cellular respiration, and the undigested food which is stored. There are also some undigested portion of the food, not that undigested food which moves out from the body, but the things which are not used by the cells. So that is food is stored in the form of glycogen in the liver. Okay, so liver does two functions. It also secretes bile, and it also store the food or the carbohydrates which are not used in the liver in the form of glycogen. So sometimes if you eat too much of food and you don't exercise, your liver becomes fatty. So because of that fatty liver, that fat is due to the carbohydrates which is not used by your body, so you become fat. Okay, so the assimilation is done. After the assimilation is done, there is the last step, is called as egestion. So egestion is done in the last portion of the body, that is the undigested food which is not absorbed further in the small intestine, and it passes to the large intestine, and the large intestine absorbs the water from the undigested food with the help of villi again, and the solid undigested food is stored in the rectum and then finally exits from the anus. So this is how it all works, the whole this digestive system in the human beings. So the important organs are this mouth, that is buccal cavity, which also have salivary glands which secretes the salivary amylase, and then it's esophagus which has the peristaltic movement which pushes the food to the stomach. Stomach produces three juices, which is HCl, pepsin, and mucus. Mucus helps in the protection of the stomach wall from the acid. Acids helps to kill the bacteria, and it also helps the food to make acidic, which is used by the pepsin. Pepsin can only act in the acidic medium, and it breaks the protein into amino acids or peptides. Then the food moves from here to the smaller intestine, and in the smaller intestine the main digestion, main absorption takes place. Here two organs, liver and pancreas, which are glands. Liver secretes bile, which acts which bile which is stored in the gallbladder, which is moved from the bile duct, which makes this acidic food which comes from the stomach into the alkaline medium. And pancreas secretes three digestive enzymes, that is pancreatic amylase, trypsin. Okay, so these things convert or break down the food into the simpler form. They break the food, the carbohydrates into the glucose. They break the fatty acids, fat into fatty acids. They break down the protein into peptides and amino acids. Then after the food is being converted into the simpler form, it is being absorbed by the body. So the absorption absorbed by this intestine, villi, and these are filled with the blood capillaries which absorbs the nutrient. Then the food moves through the large intestine. Here the absorption of water is done, and then it moves from the rectum to the anus. Now there is a small topic in your book called as dental caries. Let's go to this also. Now, teeth are very hard part of our body, and they are covered with a strong, a very hard outer covering called as enamel. So when that enamel is broken, or somehow it is destroyed, so the inner part of the tooth, that is called as dentine, is visible. So this dentine is a kind of a similar to the bone. Since the enamel is very strong, it is more stronger than bones. The inside the dentine is a pulp cavity. If we will not take care of our teeth properly, we may have some holes or some cavity in our tooth. So that holes and cavity will be due to the actions of acids forming bacteria that forms acid, and that acid will destroy the hard enamel of our tooth, exposing the dentine. So that process of destroying the enamel is called as dental caries. And if we do not clean our teeth regularly, they will become sticky and they will become yellowish. They will be having a layer of food in that, and then the bacteria will also act upon that. So it will be forming a very foul smell. So that is called as a dental plaque. Okay, so we have to clean our teeth regularly. We have to brush our teeth regularly, so that we should not face any dental caries and dental plaque. So we have to clean so that there will be no acidic medium in our tooth, because in the toothpaste it is some bases are present which will make the medium of our mouth alkaline, so that there should be no dental caries and no dental plaque this time. So the function of stomach is just to store the food until it is partially digested, and it secretes the gastric juices, that is HCl, pepsin, and mucus. It churns the food into the pulp, and HCl, which is which is a gastric juice, kills the bacteria. It enters which enters in the stomach through the food. Then the function of small intestine. It is the site of complete digestion of food. It receives secretion from liver and pancreas for digestion. Yes, all the secretions, the bile and the pancreatic juice enzymes are secreted in the intestine where the food is digested. It is lined with villi, which increases the surface area for the absorption of the nutrient. And then the last is large intestine, the absorption of water from food, secretion of mucus, because mucus also helps in the movement of the food through the body, because the food is being pushed. So if there is no mucus, the food will be a block in the way. So mucus is also important so that it can lubricate the tract, and the food will eject from the body easily. And the ejection of undigested waste matter from the anus. So all these things are very important. So this completes your digestion in human beings. I hope you understood this, and please go to the homework section. Find out the worksheet there, complete your worksheet, which is the time which is given, and then please click the picture of your answer sheets. You can write in any answer notebook, any pages. You can have to click the pictures, and you can upload into the homework section so that it can be evaluated. So I hope you understood the process of digestion in human beings. Please study, and you can also take the screenshots so that you can make your own notes, which will be helpful for you. So till then, the next lecture, stay safe and study hard. Thank you.